Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of USC Postgame Live here on the Voice of College Football Network. I'm Tony Altimore here with Rick and Naya. USC, after another miserable performance on defense and fairly lackluster performance on offense, loses yet another last-minute game to Utah, this time 34-32 in the LA Coliseum. We have LBC with us live at the Coliseum itself. Who seems to be frozen. He'll be back with us in a moment. LBC, ugly game. USC's defense looked horrific. Couple of stops, but in general, playing against a walk-on. The TV people like to talk about the agriculture and the family, but I mean, this kid was a walk-on stocking shelves at Lowe's about a month and a half ago. No business beating USC in the Coliseum. What do we make of this embarrassing loss?
Tony, that was a difficult one to swallow. We missed a couple two-point conversions. Obviously, that last one. But it came down to
a lot of bad penalties.
Right. You're going to have to, again, it's the Pac-12 refs. I don't agree with that late hit targeting that kicked out. I think it was Bear Alexander. That's just another hit in the SEC. That's called defense. But that's the Pac-12 giving it to USC. I'm not making excuses, but that was a BS call. That was not targeting. That was bullshit. But I'm going to call it like it is. That was BS. But we didn't lose the game there. We couldn't beat the pig farmer, and our defense couldn't stop the pig farmer.
Yeah.
And we get what we get. And
Utah does not have a good offense. Yeah. Utah has a bad offense, and we made them look great tonight.
And each of us had a turnover, so the team turnover margin was even. And you can talk to Mrs. LBC, and the people that were sitting in 104B, row 33. I called that pick six.
You did. You called it.
The defense would step up, and Caleb Bullock. So we're going by the Utah section. Here we go. Good job, Utes. Good job. Yeah, so we're leaving the Coliseum, and we had a lot of Utah fans, and that was a tough loss. But you never leave it up to a kicker, and the defense couldn't shut him down, and that was tough.
The defense couldn't stop. I mean, the defense had a couple of things, and I'm sure we'll hear the Pollyannas will tell us that it wasn't about the defense, but it absolutely was about the defense because, again, Utah has a bad offense. They are not good. Utah has a very good defense, outstanding defense, but they have a bad offense, and we let them give up 34 points at home tonight. Just unbelievable.
But it comes down we didn't make enough plays. No. And we couldn't shut them down at the very end, where you think with just a little over a minute, we can hold them. And, hey, you open it up to a field goal to beat you, and that's what happened. And it's unfortunate, but now USC has to deal with that. But on the bright side, I know a lot of people don't want to admit this, but, hey, USC was in for a fist fight. And they hung tough. We lost. I get that. Yes, I get it. But they played one of their best games of the year. It's unfortunate what Caleb Williams did at the very end, choking with that fumble. And let's just say, Utah is Caleb tonight. He's 0-3 versus Utah. So you got tip your cat at the end of the night.
All right, LBC, here's a question for you.
Yeah.
After what we've seen tonight, what we've seen against Notre Dame, what we saw against Arizona, what we saw against Arizona State, what we saw against Colorado, I would say, based on what we've seen and barring a miracle, no way this team beats Washington. No way this team beats Oregon. That's 8-4. Does this team beat Cal or UCLA?
Oh, well, I think we're going to have a tough time against Cal. You just had an embarrassing loss to Notre Dame. You had a physical loss at home. And you think you're going to get a little chance to breathe and you're going to go up to the Bay Area. But, Tony, this is the 20-year anniversary of the 34-31 3-overtime loss with another field goal that beats you. With Matt Leinart and that team. And they went on to go win the national championship beating Michigan in the Rose Bowl.
Cal's not bad. Cal's not bad, and we don't stop anybody.
But don't think that this is not a game that Cal has circled, because this could be the last time USC ever plays a Strawberry Canyon. Okay, at least in my lifetime. They're not going to go up there for another 20 years, because they're going to play. If they play anybody, it's going to be Stanford. It'll be Stanford at the Coliseum. They're not going to play Cal up at Berkeley. If Cal wants to play USC, they will play at the Coliseum.
Yeah.
So this is going to be one of the last games, and this could be Cal's bowl game. So they are going to be ready for USC. You know, you've got USC's ex-defensive coordinator, Justin Wilcox, and USC better not let down, because they need to beat Cal. And right now, hey, Cal's got a fighting chance to beat USC up at Berkeley. And if that happens, then you might as well just I don't even know what you want to say then.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, again,
I
this
think
team,
the culture on this team is going to be challenged.
Yeah. I mean, again, right now, the absolute best case scenario for this team.
This game, Tony. Go ahead.
I said the absolute best case for this team right now is 8-4. Best case.
Well, I'll tell you what. There's been a lot of talk all year long, okay, about as the game goes longer, we get better. We've heard that. And now you can hear the Utah fans. They're celebrating. They're celebrating, and rightly so.
They should be. They should be.
I'm going to go ahead and just say,
I mean, and by the way, let's give a shout out.
You know
let's give a shout out to our Utah fans, our Utah audience. Congratulations to the Utes. Utah absolutely did what had to be done tonight. USC blew it, and Utah did what had to be done.
Yeah, they did. They did. And there's been a lot of talk in this coaching staff about the longer the game goes, the better we get. Well, let me tell you something. And I posted it earlier. This is a NATO game. And what happened was there was no action, talk only. And USC is NATO. No action, talk only. And they're going to talk about it. And they're going to talk about the ifs, ands, and buts. But you know what? The bottom line is we didn't execute. We didn't make enough plays. And a team that you should be kicking their rear end with a pig farmer, you lost. You lost without Cam Rising. You have a Heisman Trophy winner. And Utah beat you in your own house. And Notre Dame embarrassed you in South Bend. You barely beat Colorado in a big game. And
you needed double overtime against Arizona.
Yeah, and ASU was a dumpster fire. So who is this USC team, and where are they? Let's go this way. And so that's reality. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. How do you let Utah come in and beat you with a pig farmer? They did. And the pig farmer beat Heisman Trophy winner Caleb Williams, and they're going to love that forever. So Congratulations to them, but that's a reality you got to deal with. And I don't know if you're the coaching staff how you justify this. You can't justify this.
There's no justification to this.
Lincoln Riley better not justify this, because guess what? If you come to USC to win championships, you don't lose at home to Utah. You don't get embarrassed in South Bend. You know what the reality of the rivalry is about now. You don't like hang your head all week and
by the way,
slump your shoulders.
Thank you.
USC. I'm sorry, this is USC. You don't lose like that to Notre Dame, and you don't lose like that to Utah. I'm sorry.
No, by the way, we got to give a thank you to Zach T.
All right.
LBC,
all right.
We got to give a thank you to Zach T, one of our Utah fans. And by the way, guys, to our Utah fans, as we express our frustration about USC's miserable play, kudos to the Utes, because the Utes did exactly what they had to do tonight. So congrats to the Utes. Friend of the show, Zach T. Friend of the show, Zach T, has just sent us an amazing super chat. Thank you, Zach. Of course, fittingly, it is $34.32. And you know what? USC's defense tonight was worth about 32 cents.
Well,
so thank
Tony,
you for that. And he says, Larry and I stood tall on Wednesday. You did. And friend of the show, Larry Pilgrim, who's watching, congratulations to your Utes. But to the USC faithful here, I mean, I'll tell you, LBC, I would be okay if they, I mean, you don't even need to have an interim coach. I think it's time to announce that a change is being made on defense.
Well, I'll let you have that discussion,
I'm okay with that.
Tony. That's good. I'm not going to go there.
I'm going there. A change has to be made on this defense, I believe. This defense is not, it doesn't work.
And I can see how you would go there, Tony, because the standard is at USC you win championships, and Lincoln Riley acknowledged that. And now he's coached for a total of I think 22 games, and the losses.
This defense just doesn't cut it. Now again, you don't have to throw him out of the building. He can. I mean, you can keep having him continue for the rest of the year, but it's time to determine that a change will be made. There's no reason to keep up doing what you're doing. Hire Jim Leonard tomorrow. Whatever you have to do. I mean, just do to the defense what we did to Clay Helton and announce that it's time for a change. Because again, it's not getting it done. This is, and I mean, we make the joke. I mean, actually, this kid's family, by the way, to the folks who don't know what LBC is talking about, Utah's former walk-on quarterback Bryson Barnes' family runs actually an awesomely huge livestock operation with 12,000 hogs. So that's why they jokingly call him a pig farmer. But this kid is a walk-on stocking shelves at Lowe's Hardware a couple weeks ago. Literally just came down to scholarship when he was starting for the team. So again, this is not an amazing kid, amazing story. Kudos to Bryson Barnes, absolutely the hero of the night, but not somebody who should be taking on USC's Heisman Trophy winner.
So Tony, let me ask you a question. Kudos to Tim Prankley Jr., our co-host, and Matt Zemek. They have a call-in show. I'm leaving the Coliseum. Do we want to get some USC or some Utah reaction to the game?
Let's get some USC. Let's get some reaction. As you look for some reaction right now, I just want to give a couple shout outs. Thank you to G. He's an OU fan here. He says, you all seem like good dudes. Thanks, G. It's a tough L. Again, congratulations to Utah. USC certainly did not do what had to be done tonight. And then friend of the show, Gixer Squid. Gixer, thank you. Gixer says the only good thing tonight was LBC's brewery recommendations.
Thank you. So would we like to get some USC reaction or some Utah reaction?
Let's get some USC reaction. The Utah folks are probably celebrating, as they should be.
Okay, hold on a second. Hey, Trojans.
What a mess. We got 400 folks here in our chat right now watching our post game, having fun once again. To everybody who's joined, I'm Tony Altimore here on the Voice of College Football channel. We've got LBC Trojan live outside the Coliseum right now.
We got like 400 people online that are watching our show, and we want to get some USC fan reaction of what we just saw at the Coliseum. Would you gentlemen care to give your opinion of what your impression is of the game was?
Well, I'll sum it to you up in one. No defense.
Okay.
That's it.
Very good.
Would
you say there's a change that needs to be made at defense?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay. And you, sir?
I would say I think the most disappointing thing was when we had that last drive.
Yeah.
I just thought that the time management is horrible.
Okay.
I just thought that if we could have got better time management, maybe run a couple plays, let that clock run down a little bit.
That's been an issue all year.
But we don't do that.
So situation mastery by Lincoln Riley. He talked about it, but he didn't clock management. We didn't execute.
Exactly.
Right?
He's right.
Because
No clock
your
management.
Defense is challenge, and you're going to leave it to your defense with that much time.
Exactly.
And
So, yes, go ahead, sir.
Why are we going for 2 points early in the game when we didn't need to?
There you go.
If you don't go for those 2 points, it's a tie ball game right now. We go to overtime.
All right. So there's a coaching challenge there, right?
Yes,
Coaching
sir.
issue. Okay.
I'll
Hey,
say this much.
go ahead.
He ain't no Pete Carroll.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir.
Oh,
There you go. Hey, there's the truth. Hey, there's the
There's
truth.
the
man.
truth right there.
Hey, that's 2 weeks in a row. Lincoln Riley got mastered in the situation by another defensive coach. All right, he didn't do it. He didn't execute, and
Nope.
you're hearing from right there. And that's the standard you have to live by. Is Pete Carroll and John McKay and John Robinson. You come in here talking about winning championships and you don't have a defense, that's going to happen to you. So we get some more fan reaction here. Let's continue on, Trojans.
What a rough night for USC.
Yeah.
Once again, we've got LBC Trojan live outside the Los Angeles Coliseum as USC
we'll get some more. Sir,
drops the game to Utah, 34-32, last second win.
We're on the Voice of College Football live right now.
Nice.
And we have 400 people online. And we want to get the reaction of what you just saw at the USC game. What's your reaction on what you saw versus Utah? What has to change?
Okay, so first of all, it was a good game, and our defense is finally playing like they give a crap, which is great to see.
Mm-hmm.
But we are probably the most poorly undercoached team in the nation.
All right.
And I'm really getting sick and tired of Lincoln Riley getting on camera and acting like everything's okay. Start burning someone's ass, Lincoln, because your ass is on the line now. You're the one that brought Alex Grinch here, dude. You brought Alex Grinch here. The definition of insanity is repeating the same results, right? Doing the same actions, expecting a different result. And Lincoln, that's what you did. You brought your boy. I don't know if the guy has like damaging info.
LBC, we can't hear him.
Understand this love affair you have for this guy, but at some point, buddy, you're going to have to step up and be a head coach. It's going to have to happen. And if you don't, you're going to lose your job. Alex Grinch better be very important to you, buddy. Because if you think we're a stepping stone for you to get to the NFL, you're high as a kite. Start coaching. Seriously, start coaching, Lincoln Riley.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sorry, you got me.
No, it's okay. Fight on, man. Appreciate it. All right.
I mean, he's got good points. I mean, that's the issue. The issue is the defense is unacceptable. It's not okay. It's unacceptable. Again, I believe a change. And this is my personal tone, my personal opinion. It is time for a change to be made in our defensive staffing. I understand. Maybe you have to go ahead, Rick.
It comes with time management. He was absolutely right. You know, there are situations where you have to execute, and you know you're going to score a touchdown. You have to milk the clock. You don't want to give Utah any opportunity to come down and kick a field goal should you miss a 2-point conversion. So they failed on a lot of occasions, the coaching staff. And then you have to rely on your defense to make that stop, and we didn't. And
nope.
And you know, they executed. The quarterback scrambled, got down to field goal position, and then they kicked the field goal. So a lot of different challenges, but at the end of the day, there hasn't been.
Oh, we're losing LBC there for a sec. Yeah, you know, as Rick's saying here, at the end of the day, USC is not performing. Sorry, go ahead, Rick. You're cutting out.
It reared its ugly head once again. Yeah, because we're not going to deal, Tony, with the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. You shouldn't have to deal with shoulda, coulda, wouldas if you're a championship coach and you have a high-level defense. And we do not have a high-level defense.
We don't even have a mediocre defense.
No. Yeah.
We have a poor defense.
Let me get.
And by the way,
Utah reaction here.
Just
Are
to
you
be
Utah
clear,
fans?
to
hold on,
folks,
Tony.
hold on, LBC, for just a sec. To folks who don't know, you know, aren't familiar with USC. USC played Utah tonight. Utah has a great defense, so you know I'm okay cutting the offense a little bit of slack tonight because they went up against a good defense, but USC's defense looked bad. I think we got LBC Trojan, I think, live with some other fans outside the Coliseum. Go ahead, LBC.
So hey, I'm here with some Utah fans. We're on the Voice of College Football USC channel, and we want to get your reaction of what you saw tonight by your Utah Utes. Congratulations for beating USC and Caleb Williams 3 times in a row. So what'd you guys think of the game? What'd you think of the game?
First game we as a Utah office put together.
Okay.
I think our defense played great. Our offense was good. We won that game.
Right, and maybe your offense was so good because USC's defense was porous. Oh, there you go. Say it again, sir.
Because their defense was bad.
Okay.
That's a shame.
Yeah, it is a shame. Yeah, and maybe the coaching didn't make the best decisions. But that
last minute was worth traveling from Utah to come and see.
Oh, can you say that louder one more time? Go ahead. Say it again, ma'am.
The last minute of the game was worth coming from Utah to see
Oh, say
She
it
said-
one more time.
She
Say it
says
one
the
more time.
last minute of the game
Yeah.
was worth traveling from Utah to
And
LA.
What's your name, ma'am?
It's true.
Diane Whitelock Miller, and we
Yeah.
graduated from the U.
Good for you. I love your hat, by the way, ma'am. And congratulations to Utah. I'm a big Cam Rising fan. I hope he recovers. But you know what? Your pig farmer beat us tonight, and he beat a Heisman Trophy winner in our house. So there's no excuses. You know what? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And the last minute was really heart attack time.
that's good. But congratulations.
Yeah, it was. It was
Enjoy
a heart
your
attack
victory.
for those of us
Go
watching.
Utes. Enjoy your game. Yeah, there you go.
USC Team.
Yeah. Hey, congratulations, young man. All right, there you go. You got some happy Ute fans. Here
Hey, we got a
celebrating the
LBC.
Coliseum.
We got a super chat here from friend of the show, Lemansky, an
Yeah,
Iowa
Lemansky.
fan. He points out, I feel the Trojan pain. As Hawks waste their high-level defense, the Trojans waste their high-level offensive talent. I agree with you, Lemansky. And how much do we wish that we could merge with Iowa and somehow get our defense and their offense,
Hey, Tony.
or vice versa?
Tony-
I mean, it's that kind of night.
So,
You guys know what I
so
mean.
Tony, you were a Sigma Chi, correct, at USC?
Yes,
And did you ever frequent the 9-0?
of course.
Okay, I want you to meet Chris Walsh and look at his T-shirt tonight. He joined Mrs. LBC and me, along with his beautiful wife Tanya, right here. And look at his shirt.
I missed the 9-0. That's great.
There it is. So yeah, Chris Walsh.
That's great.
Neighbors.
Yeah. Yeah, he was an SAE.
Yes,
All right,
hey,
and
they
this
were our
is-
good friends.
And this is his beautiful wife Tanya Walsh. They're our guests tonight. And he rocked this shirt tonight. I missed the 9-0. It's beautiful. And Tanya
Chris, Chris, I
Walsh,
tell-
turn around, Miss Walsh. Turn around, Miss Walsh. Look at her. Look, she's got the custom USC Trojans
I like
shirt,
it. I like it.
jacket. Yeah. So, hey, we had the spirit here, and we
Hey,
thought we almost had a big win. Yeah.
LBC, tell Chris I did many, many group projects in the SAE President's Room. Good
Okay,
folks
hey,
at SAE. Phi Alpha.
Tony has a message for you. He says he did many projects in the SAE President's Room. So if you know what that means.
No, like school projects. There's nothing bad there.
Hey, by the way,
Yeah.
we love the steaks, and just because you couldn't get a bit of the SE, some of my best friends who roll those things.
Yeah.
And
Too funny.
you guys are pretty
Actually,
good, cool, and maybe a
LBC,
little smoother.
Yes.
remind me tomorrow to tell you about the time I went on spring break to Mexico with 26 SAEs They're funny
he's gonna
stories
tell me a story.
that are not
He says-
appropriate for YouTube.
So Tony said, hey, remind me, LBC, I'm going to tell you a story tomorrow. The time he went to spring break in Mexico with 26 SAEs.
Oh,
So I don't know.
okay, if I was there, Tony, when my run for Attorney General comes, I could not.
Yeah, when you run for Attorney General, I know nothing. I know nothing when you run for Attorney General.
He's going to N6. I may have been there now that I think about that trip.
I
Hey,
like
we're
it.
having fun. We're having here fun, Tony. We're like licking our wounds. But hey,
Hey,
we're
we have to
dealing
lick
with
our wounds
reality.
and have fun. We got to lick our
Yeah.
wounds and have fun. It was a rough night for the Trojan faithful.
So we're going to continue the parking lot to our parking garage. If there are any Trojans out there that would have questions or anybody in the chat, I'd be more than happy to answer them. But Tony, is it okay if I can mention about my new channel?
Absolutely. LBC, talk to us about your new LBC Trojan channel, because everybody in the chat, if you are not following LBC Trojan's new channel, he has done some really cool stuff. He's got an awesome new YouTube channel. I'm going to put the link in the chat. As you guys watch us, just give him an extra subscription because LBC is doing some really neat stuff on his channel too. So if you like getting some LBC here, get lots of LBC on his own channel as well.
So what you're going to find out there in the chat, guys, is check it out at LBC Trojan. That is my new channel. And I'm going to talk USC football. I'm going to talk college football. And I am about craft beer. I am about upgrading your tailgate beer. It's about fun. It's about friendships. It's about the tailgate experience like we're having here with Chris and Tanya Walsh, right? It's good times. This is what college football is about. You get 6 or 7 home games. It's about the experience, and that's what I'm going to bring to you. It's about building a community. That's what I believe in. I have a lot of friends that are going to help me on the show. We got some great young men that put together a musical intro. That's bomb.
It's a great
so check
channel.
It out. So we kicked off with the USC Notre Dame week. I mean, my God, we had Pat Poland, who's my golf coach. He's a national champion on the 73 Irish team that beat Bear Bryant in New Orleans 24-23. He also coached Freddie Freeman in youth basketball and football. Pat Poland's a G. He's awesome. And then the next night we had Jeff McKay and J.K. McKay talking about the USC preview. And then I had a preview that just happened on Friday with a couple of fans, their friends, their Utes fans, and Brandon Openstein and his dad, Brett. And Brandon's a member of the band. And so that's what it's about. It's about community. And I got a lot of friends that are fans of other teams. But check it out. And I'll be dropping some new content. I was just an invited guest at the Matter of Craft beer tour. They're out of Huntington Beach. We went to the brewery in
Hey,
Placentia.
LBC.
Yeah.
You just got a shout out from Gixxer Squid, who points out he loves your new channel.
Oh.
And folks, everybody who's watching, we've had the link up in the link to call into the
Thank
show
you.
up for a little while on the screen. We'd love to hear from you guys here as LBC gets ready to head home. Our co-host Tim Prangley is probably nearing his house down in LA soon. Hey, LBC, we've got our favorite Aussie. We've got Megan with us live from Australia. Megan.
Okay, Megan.
What an
Hey,
ugly night tonight for the Trojans.
better night for my All Blacks in the rugby. We are going to our fourth World Cup. Our fifth World Cup final.
Nice.
But
Congrats to the All Blacks.
going to be the first team in history to try to win 4. I can't say I'm surprised.
No defense, you can't win.
Exactly. It's a lot closer than I thought it would be. I was sort of watching 4 different sports.
I love
It could have been worse, I will say. It could have been much worse. Alex Grinch. I'm sorry, I love Lincoln, but he's doing my head in. To put it mildly, what is he doing? And the correct and only answer is not bloody much. It could have been worse. Dale, it could have been worse because I expected us to lose this by at least 10 to 12.
Okay.
They get paid. They get more money. Girlfriends, faster cars.
I thought it was promising, but after last week and this week, I'm not surprised. We have so much work to do. I don't know when it's going to start. Is it because it's the last week of last year, rather, of the Pac-12?
I just think I'll tell you, this is just my personal opinion, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I know everybody in the chat has theirs and all that. I think that it was fair for them to say, hey, we're rebuilding. Yet last year the defense was not good. We're getting new players. We're going to try new things. And I think we've done that. I think that was fair. I think it was the right thing to do, but it still hasn't worked. And so because of that, now I think it's time to say we need to move on defense, whatever that's going to be.
But what would it take, in your opinion, to move on? Shut it down, rebuild it, scorched earth?
So I think you need a new defensive coordinator with a new scheme. They're going to have to evaluate the talent. We're probably going to need some new players. It's also very possible with some of the players we've got, we have, there's a lot of talent on the field. It's just not performing like talent. There's a lot of good players on the field. There's a lot of high-ranked guys who know what they're doing who just aren't performing. So what do you need to do to turn that switch to make them perform?
I see what you mean. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
They're not bad athletes, right? They're not overmatched in most cases. Mason Cobb knows how to tackle, right? Bear Alexander is a 5-star legend. He knows how to tackle. So what is not happening here? and who can make that happen. And I mean, I think the best example of that when we think back to USC history is, I mean, look at Carson Palmer, who did like nothing under Paul Hackett and won the Heisman Trophy under Pete Carroll. So
But is that, do you think that's because of the different coaching? Hackett, Carroll, I mean, is it coaching? Is it players not stepping up, doing what coaching asks? Is it a little bit of A, a little bit of B, and something else? Like,
I will confess that I am not a defensive talent evaluator, so I will defer to those people who are. However, having grown up around this sport my entire life and being immersed as a child of a child of a coach and nephew of another coach and another nephew of another coach, like I've been around this game my entire life since, I've been on the sideline since I was old enough to walk. And I can tell you that a change needs to be made.
Yes, again, I think Blind Freddie could see that a change. But I guess my question to you in that sense, Tony, is whose responsibility, for want of a better word, is it to promote that change or make that change?
The head coach has to decide that the change has to be made.
Right.
And then from there, the question, and I'll tell you also, and I know this sounds really bad, and this is maybe like a very corporate-y sounding thing. Sometimes just making the change is effective too. Like just whatever's not working is not working. And so you make a change and then all of a sudden you get some effect from that.
Yeah. But somebody, I'm sure you would agree, or perhaps you would disagree, that somebody needs to step up to make that change. My question is, does Lincoln, does Alex
It's a good question.
Sorry, I'm cringing at that name, but you know what I mean? Like, no one seems to be stepping up to make that change, is what I'm guessing.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm going to be really interested to see the press conference tonight when we're done in here. I'm really curious to see what they have to say. Because again, I don't think there's an excuse for that. Again, Utah has a phenomenal Utah's kind of like Iowa. They have a phenomenal defense. They have a terrible offense because they are so banged up. Their great quarterback is on, in sweats on the sidelines. They're like so this is not a Utah team that we should have given up these kind of points.
No, and as I said, I expected it to be 12.
You thought it was going to be worse. Yeah,
I thought it was going to be much. Well,
and by the way, the defense had some good moments, and those moments show me, I think, again, my personal opinion, that these guys have some talent. They can be successful. So why are they not being successful?
When will they be? Well, why are they not? And if they are or can be successful, as you and I agree, they can. When?
Yeah, well, and look for example at all of the tackles for loss. I mean, the guys on the on the TV always talk about tackles for loss. Our wonderful co-host Tim Prangley loves to talk about tackles for loss. It's true. USC defense gets a lot of tackles for loss and then immediately gives up a first down and then some right after. So often, I mean, it's like, okay, great. You stopped them 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and then you gave up a 26-yard run. So, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
If you don't stop them, you're not stopping them. And I mean, the minute they got the ball back and they started marching down the field, we did nothing to stop them. Again, this walk-on who was stocking shelves at Lowe's this season.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like weeks ago. Yes, weeks ago. Runs down the field of the Coliseum, runs right past all of our missed tackles so that they get a field goal and win. You can't let that happen.
No.
This isn't 100%. Cam Rising doing that. It's not Dante Moore. This is not Bo Nix. This kid was stocking shelves at Lowe's weeks ago. You can't have that.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm on not much sleep, but this team is nearly doing my head in like the Seahawks.
All right, so you go get some sleep.
All right. Thanks.
Fight on, Megan. We'll see you soon.
Fight on.
All right. Next up to bat, we've got LBC Robbie. LBC Robbie, welcome to the show.
Hey, Tony. What's happening?
Well, we've had better nights.
Yeah, we have, and I think you're handling it with the, Tony. You're such the professional. you've shown so much class and just hanging there.
I've lived through lots of wins and lots of losses.
Well, yeah, I'm on this whole grateful trip right now, so I'm not,
That's a good
I'm
thing.
amazing. Yeah, I'm amazing. You're talking to someone who's never seen a highlight of the 2005 Rose Bowl ever. The second that I turn it off. I've never watched a second of it. Swear to God,
I was living in Eastern Europe. I flew over from Eastern Europe for that game.
Oh God,
I was living in Europe at the time.
What a horrible night. Tony, I've been with you the whole time, and I think what the thing I wish and Rick, I hope you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
The Alex Grinch no special teams whatever philosophy is to get negative yards, tackle for loss, like Tony, you just eloquently pointed out the TV picks up on. Get whatever turnovers. I mean, think about it. Last year, if you told us before the season started that this defense would lead the nation in sacks and turnovers, we would have said, hell yeah, we'll take it. And Lincoln Riley's playing the percentages that if we turn the ball over and get that many negative plays and that the one run back or the one blown play or whatever, with our offense, it will even out. Or we'll be ahead, way ahead at the end of the day. But when you don't have an O-line, and I'm telling you, we don't.
We don't have an O-line. Yeah, you're right.
And it all starts there. The receivers aren't getting separation. I love how Lincoln Riley decided out, said, listen, we're going to come bully you and run the ball right up front. You're a great D-line. Yeah, right. We're running right at you. And they did. And that is to set up his game. And it did for a second. And Utah adjusted. And I'll look at it later and see what exactly happened there. But the bottom line was, we cannot get separate. We are not the offense against Stanford and Nevada. God, great. We look great against them. We've looked horrible against everybody else.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's just the. All right, go ahead, guys.
No, we're agreeing with you. I think you're totally right, Robbie.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
it's the yards or the points are more difficult to come by, Robbie, when you play better defenses, better coach teams, and we've seen that with with ASU, with the change in play calling, with Kenny Dillingham when he faced us, with Arizona, and how that team, as we're looking at it now week by week, has progressed. Then we look at Colorado. We had a lot of poor coaching decisions there at Colorado. I don't need to get into those again. You can watch my analysis on my new channel.
I always do, Rick.
Yeah, thank you, man. I know, Robbie, and I appreciate you, dude. And I've been talking about this. And the question is can USC run the ball? And Notre Dame bet that USC wouldn't and couldn't run the ball, and they just outworked and outcoached USC last week in the South Bend. I credit USC for stepping up and getting in a fist fight against a physical Utah team. But it was the coaching and the execution in certain situations where USC failed. And so as the game gets longer, the better we get. No, that's a myth. That's NATO. It's no action, talk only. And the coaching has to stop talking because there's been no action. I'm sorry. There's been no championship action. And I'm disgusted. I'm really disgusted because I don't need to hear this anymore. I don't, honestly.
Yeah.
And I'm not being critical. I'm just being honest because I understand what championship football is. And it's not at USC. It has some competence on defense and some competence with coaching and second half adjustments. It's not about shoulda, coulda, wouldas. And that's what I hope we don't hear from Lincoln Riley. I hope we hear culpability. I hope we hear accountability where we failed, okay, as a coaching staff, where we let our players, our fans down because this was our house. This was our game. It was a huge game. And now, great, you got to face Washington, Oregon, and UCLA, and you got to win all three. and we remember about Pete Carroll, no loss November. I'd be very, very surprised if we go 1-2 in November. I don't see us winning 2-1. I don't see us winning 3. I could be wrong, but those other teams just have more balanced teams, and now when you lose a game like this 2 in a row, now you got to check the locker room. You got to check the culture. And when you have a lot of transfers and you have NIL, that's maybe we don't know who's being paid and who's not, and promises that were made. We're going to find that out here in the next week or 2. So that's a new dynamic that we're going to find out. So just my opinion here.
Hey,
Robbie,
in one thing,
Robbie, what do you
it
think of
could
that?
LBC.
Yeah.
It could be worse. We could have been Michigan State, who now is currently apologizing for putting a trivia question about Hitler on their scoreboard while losing 48-0 to their rival. So,
or we could be Michigan, who is being investigated by an assistant coach with the last name of Stallion. And last week, as they were going onto the field, I think they had a bunch of Michigan faithful in stallion or horse outfits.
Okay, Rick, I told you the answer to this. You can't spy on the other teams. You have to give the money to the Brits and the Jordanians, because they will spy on the other teams for you and just give you the answers, and then you can pretend like you don't know. That's how it's done. That's how the pros do it.
Okay, but if you're
use the Brits and the Jordanians, guys. Lincoln Riley, if you're listening to me, call up London, call up Amman. They take care of this stuff for you.
But the irony here.
Okay, Rick, you have like 4 people in the DC area who laughed really hard at that.
All right. But the irony here, Tony,
4 of our DC viewers got that joke.
But the irony here, Tony,
I got it.
Is if USC would have been mocking the NCAA by dressing up as Trojan horses, much like the Stallions at Michigan, they would persecute and prosecute us. What are they going to do to Michigan, mocking them by dressing up in stallion outfits? Isn't that a lack of institutional control along with their Burger Gate? My God, what is going on at Michigan? They're supposed to be one of the protected blue bloods.
They are.
What's going on? Yeah, what's going on? I mean,
we'll see what happens. Program. Again, Michigan's really good at making sure that nothing actually happens. I grew up there. I know Michigan. I've spent plenty of games at the big house.
There's such a great program, winning 1 national championship in the last 75 years. My God, I think Gerald Ford played on that 1948 team, didn't he?
Rick, Connor Johnson wants to know if you're getting a hot dog.
No hot dog tonight, Connor. I got a bad taste in my mouth, Connor. And the only thing that's going to get that tasting better is when I get home and I get a double IPA.
You're going to need a double IPA when you get home.
Yeah, actually, yes, I am. And you know what? You got to check out my content dropping on the LBC channel, because I had the privilege, Jim Pinkleton of Matter of Craft Brew in Huntington Beach. We went on a VIP tour.
Can't wait to see it.
To the brewery, and we were there for the special release of Black Tuesday. This is the Imperial Stout. So got to check it out on the LBC channel.
We'll check out LBC's channel. Hey, LBC, we got John DeMillo just sent us a super chat. He says, I've tried to stay positive, but this coaching staff might as well be Helton staff. No one told Caleb to maybe try some clock to kill some clock instead of scoring. John, I agree with you. I was a little surprised, but then again, who knows what Utah was doing or what they were doing. Maybe they just let us score knowing that they wanted the time. I mean, who knows at this point? That's kind of how it worked out. I mean, I looked at it when it happened. I texted LBC seconds after we scored and said they're going to beat us because I knew our defense wouldn't stop them. And there's a confidence when you're on a team, which like Utah is right now. You're on a team and you know that the other team just can't stop you. Anyway, all right, LBC, Robbie, we've got folks waiting to join us. Any final thoughts here on this game?
I congruently agree with everything you guys been saying the past, however long I've been here. and just, it's unfortunate. But I know everyone's, and they're right. Now's the time to reassess at the minimum. And I think the biggest thing is, the SC has only done one thing well since Pete's left, and that was put receivers in the NFL, quality receivers in the NFL. The O line, D line, besides Leonard Williams, has been, it's not, and that's the kind of player Sarkisian, Kiffin, Helton, thing recruited, and Riley. That's the makeup of our team, and so I'm not really that surprised. I mean, I'm not trying to go on "I told you so" thing or something, but Rick, you'll remember we talked in February, and I said, hey, these guys aren't going to learn how to tackle in one spring, session. They're bad tacklers. That's who they are. That's the way it is. It was explained to me that by a high school coach, a friend of mine, in this day of super high school teams, it's not uncommon to be on a defense where you're 3 and out because you're so much better than everybody you're playing, and everyone knows to learn how to tackle, learn how to thing. You can't get off the field on third down. You're getting dragged. You learn how to fight behind the line. That kind of thing. And it's just, it looks like SC has a bunch of kids who've been in that program on their defense, and so I wasn't surprised by anything tonight. What I was surprised is that this offense hasn't looked good since the first half of Colorado, and that's just the bottom line. And
I think you're right.
When things go wrong on the O line, that's this kind of stuff that happens. And as far as they think, nobody shuffles offensive linemen. No, the only reason they're doing that is because someone's screwing up. So you get in there and do that. No one shuffles on the O line. Okay, you're doing great. Now go get you. As everyone says, you want cohesive. They're only doing that because they have to.
They have to because they can't. They're not having success with it. That's the thing.
Exactly. I mean, this team can't even run block. I mean, it's a problem. And I think.
And we saw tonight, if we block, Marshawn Lloyd's pretty good.
Damn good.
He's damn good.
And when they go straight ahead, they're good. It's just when you try to do anything in the to spread the field, they can't contain, they can't trap block, they can't hold on to the pack. They can't. Never mind. Tony, I'll let everyone else get on. Rick, I love you, bro.
Thanks, Robbie. We love you.
Tony, you're the best. I'll be in the chat the rest of the game.
All right.
Fight on, everybody. You're all the best, man.
Thank you, Robbie. And hey, thank you, Erica. Erica, great friend of the show, devout Hawkeye fan. And by the way, guys, give some love to your Hawkeye friends because they're having just as rough a night as we are. Erica points out, could be worse. Kirk Ferentz could be your coach, or Brian Ferentz could be your OC. Erica, why don't we get your defense and our offense together? And I think that would be a fantastic team. Just our luck, though, we'd end up with our defense and your offense. And that would be, a personal nightmare hell. Anyway, what a rough night. Hey, next up, we've got Avery Nobles has been waiting. Avery, bringing you on. Welcome to the channel. Avery, what'd you think of the big loss tonight?
What's up, team? What's going on? How the two of you guys doing tonight?
Good. How you doing?
Hey, I mean, same conversation we've been having since week 0, right?
It is.
So, I mean, I'm not going to call and be.
All right, so where do we go from here?
Reassessment of the entire tree. I mean, it's obvious that we're weak in the trenches, so you need a new strength and conditioning coach. It's obvious that the scheme that we're trying to run on defense is not good, so we need a new defensive coordinator. Nobody's really produced. Nobody's job is safe. I really honestly feel like everybody's on a pip, right? I feel like the next couple of weeks they all should be coaching for their jobs. Everybody. It's not a good situation to be in because, as I've been asking when I call, it's like, well, what the hell are they doing in practice? And it's kind of letting me know that this scheme, this thought process, the philosophy for for this program is not about that. I mean, you think about this. We're bringing on top quarterbacks or want to put in guys in offensive packages to be successful and to show the numbers and the abilities. But at no point in time is there a thought process to want to have the best defenders and the best defensive guys that they're going up against. That way, that could make our offense and both sides of the ball that much stronger. That's scary. Like that's an odd thing. You didn't hear that with Pete. No one side of the ball was better than the other. And what did you see from that? You saw the basics.
Yep.
Kind of.
All right, Avery, we got Tim Prangley joining us now. Tim, just back home live from the Coliseum. Tim, a rough night. Give us your take on this game. Tim, you're on mute.
That last drive kind of says it all.
What's
Tim,
up, Tim? How you
mute.
doing? Tim, can we hear you? Can you hear me? What's up, Tim? How you doing?
Yeah, I'm off mute now.
All right.
The end of that game was really bring back flashback memories, not of what's normal, right? I mean, that situation. This is a Utah team that's somewhere towards the bottom of the country in total yards per game. A team that doesn't have any explosives. So we go in even with like a minute, whatever. We had 2 minutes left. I can't remember what's on the clock.
Minute 20 or something.
You're thinking this is not an offense that is built to move the ball down the field and score on a standard defense, really. And
it's a defense that'll give up those yards.
Well, that's what I'll tell. And this is a long story. I'll tell about it later. But they looked like that was the pig farmer, not Vince Young. When he's coming down the field, he made Bryson Barnes. By the way, hats off. I can mock him all I want. He balled out. He had a great game. But the way that he was driving the ball, that was Bryson Barnes. That was not Vince Young. And this defense made him look like Vince Young on that last run. That last run was just like. The defense is just frustrating as hell. They stepped up. There are a couple times like, oh, look, hey, whoa, hold on. They might actually help SC to win this game. And then the next chance they get, they just absolutely drop the ball on that. Stupid, silly penalties on both sides of the ball. Utah balling out. Sione Vaki is absolutely a man-child out there. I'm sure you guys talked about this all. Short story is you can't play like that at home on defense with a lead and let that offense march down the field and kick a game-winning field goal. That's just a complete indictment on the defense.
Yep, I agree with you. And Tim, this is my personal opinion, but I thought that when the defense played well tonight, it showed that they're capable of doing that. And so there's a huge disconnect between what this defense is capable of. It's not that they're bad players. It's not that they're not talented.
Agreed.
And so you look at it and you say, what's the disconnect? Why are players who are this good, who are this talented, performing this poor? Why are they not stopping anything? And I again, this is my personal opinion. You may well disagree. You probably do, but I believe at this point there is no question a change needs to be made. You don't necessarily have to make it effective immediately, but I think that the sooner the team recognizes that it's time to move to a new defensive management and leadership, the better we'll be. Again,
I agree with you, Tony.
You don't have to go to an interim. You don't have to do whatever, but I believe it's time to move on.
You're right, and I think that it was laid out for Alex Grinch at the beginning of the year, and there have been improvements. I mean, there have, but with the amount of talent he brought in, there had to be improvement. But the amount of improvement that's happened on the field, again, the lack of discipline, we're still seeing plays. I mean, early in the game on third down, there's guys. I don't know what's going on with the zone they're running. There's guys wide open. It was how many third down conversions where the guy just comes right over the middle and picks up a first down and extends the drive. Yeah, it's been frustrating to watch. Last 3 weeks because our offense has been struggling so much. It's been okay to say, well, the offense could score more and you have to give up 30. There's no excuse for what this defense is doing. The offense went up against a very, very good. This defense for Utah.
Utah's a great defense.
Yeah, I saw it in person. I saw it in person tonight, and I think we took advantage of Cole Bishop being out in that first quarter and kind of got got going. But then also we went away from the run in the second quarter. I mean, I don't go back and look at the stats, but it just seemed like we were running the ball really well. And then the second half, we kind of got away from the run. Just really a disappointing game. You have Kalen Bullup step up and make just an amazing play to break on the ball, get us right back into it. Then you got Zachariah Branch being the guy that we know. The guy I sat with is a Utah fan. He's the one that brought me to the championship game last year. And we were sitting there talking about the game. And every time they would kick to him, he would just shake his head and look at me. I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea why you guys are kicking the ball, on kickoffs and on punts to Zachariah Branch. It makes no sense, especially right down towards the end of the game. But even his heroics were enough to stop this defense from stopping themselves.
Hey, we got a super chat here from Maurice 181. Thank you, Maurice, for helping support the channel. Maurice says QB's best friend is a running game. Unfortunately, it's clear Caleb has no best friends. And I'll tell you, Marshawn Lloyd's a great running back, but our line is not able to block for what we need to do for him to be able to do what he can do. Like, he's going to have a great success playing on Sundays, but he's going to be doing that behind an O-line, and we don't provide that blocking.
I've been all over the line, Tony, for 2 weeks, especially the run blocking. I actually thought the run blocking tonight was actually pretty good. I think the pass protection, of all the units tonight, I think that the offensive line played well enough for us to win this game. Actually, I've been very harsh on them the entire season. But a couple of those sacks are on Caleb. Caleb's got to have that internal clock and get the ball out. I mean, he does. Yeah. Caleb has to. So a couple of weeks ago, people were talking about how Caleb is, worried about the NFL. And I said, oh, that's stupid talk. That guy's a battler. But he's been hesitant to run, especially that one play where he was outside the pocket. There was just green grass, and he's still looking way down the field when he easily, it was second and long, and he finally ran. But if he'd taken off right away, he picks up that first down. Eventually we did, but I don't know why he's so hesitant to run the ball. There was a lot, Bryson Barnes outrushed Caleb in this game.
I believe it. Yeah. I mean,
I don't know the final stats, but it's got to be. I'm sure he did.
He probably did. All right. Hey, we got Avery here. Sorry, Avery. We just gotten Tim. Avery, anything else you want to add real quick before we move on?
No, I was gonna say I brought this up when I called Thursday. Really, really believe this. The years that USC came back and was supposed to be in the race for things, those years the Achilles heel was the offensive line. And think about Sam Darnold's last year when we got in the game with Ohio State. It wasn't we didn't have the athletes, we didn't have the guys in the trenches, and that's where the rebuild needs to come with the new philosophy from here on out throughout the off season. And maybe somebody will have an idea to go back up on the center. Everything isn't all flashy from the gun. Go back up on the center and get back to USC football.
I hear you. Thank you, Avery. Glad to have you.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Hey, while we move on real quick, I just want to give a special greeting to our chat. Apparently tonight is all based in Norman, Oklahoma. We're glad to have you guys. We appreciate it here in the Voice of College Football community. Your clicks help market our community, and your chats and algorithms and likes and shares and everything help the community just as much. So Oklahoma people who are celebrating, USC people who are not, you guys could give us just do us a big favor, give Mark a favor. Click like in the chat and contribute to the chat, make a comment if you're watching at home, but click like and subscribe because it really does help the channel. It really helps Mark. And like I said, your Oklahoma clicks are just as good as USC clicks. So we appreciate
2 real quick things, Tony, as well. Chat, just talking to you right now. Listen, again, do your victory laps. Tell us all the I told you so's you want, whatever. But name calling, right? Calling our coaches names like 8-year-olds, that won't be tolerated. Spamming our chat, that won't be tolerated. Feel free, criticize, take shots, do what you want. But remember, you're a guest here, and try to keep it above board. Period. Because I'm gonna start nuking you if you guys can.
Sounds good. So, Tim, another thing we're actually here, we'll chat in a minute. We've had LB Live. Actually, we got one more chat here, and then we'll bring on LB Live. LBC Robbie, who we just had on the show, you missed him, Tim. Unfortunately, he says pass protection was suspect, but better. Caleb is out of sync with receivers for some reason. I agree with you, Robbie. I think you're spot on that, as usual. Tim, did it look like that? Did it look like that in the stadium as well?
It did. I don't know if the early on you guys saw that Deuce Robinson play where he settled down in that zone. I think he probably overran the zone a little bit. I couldn't, I was just eyeballing it from where I am.
Yeah.
It looked like Caleb either expected him to settle down a little bit earlier or it was an off throw. I don't know. I want to know, dude, Caleb's hand is taped up pretty heavy. His throwing hand, his pinky and his ring finger. I'm curious what that's all about. But yeah, I agree. There were a couple of plays to Taj Washington. No, sorry, one to Taj Washington where the throw was off. Caleb had his great Caleb plays as well, but and he still, I think he had to be somewhere north of 65, 70% for his completion percentage. So, I mean, it wasn't like he was on a horrible game, but yeah, I agree with both of you guys. There's something just not in sync that we saw last year.
And Matt Ritson says, why did extra points over 2 points? Thank you for the contribution, Matt. I'm not sure. Are you asking why they didn't do it? Quite honestly, that stuff's all so done by analytics. Like there's just, you do it for a reason. You do it, for example, because of the differences in points. And so, we look at the course of the game and we say, oh, that doesn't make sense. But actually, at each time, it did make sense to go for 1 over 2. Hey, Tim, we got LV Live joining us. LV Live, welcome to the channel.
What's going on, guys? Fight on from the East Coast. How you guys doing today?
Fight on. We've had better nights.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It was a tough loss tonight. I think this is just we all had our issues, right, with him bringing Grinch back, right? This is something that I think has been building up. This is just one of those games, and you finally got a chance to see exactly what a lot of people have been complaining about. Utah's offense was terrible this year, and we made them look like the best offense in the nation.
I think Tim put it best. He said, we made the kid who was stocking shelves at Lowe's look like Vince Young tonight.
Absolutely. There's gonna have to be a change. There's gonna, we've given this guy enough chances, enough opportunities. But when our offense didn't have it tonight, guys, there's some issues I have with the offense too, but we still scored 32 points. We still put up 32 points. So if the defense is giving up 34 points and Swiss cheese the way that they were all this game against an offense like that, Lincoln Riley's going to have to look in the mirror once again, and he's going to have to say, all right, listen, we have the players. Bear Alexander's a solid player. Mason Cotton, we got players there. So if you mean to tell me that we can't get a stop from this team from going basically 80 yards with a minute left, there's a problem there. There is. Also, too, guys, I don't know if you're noticing, but it just seems like Caleb is off. I don't know what it is with him. He's missing a lot of throws. When I mean missing, I mean like reads. Like everything is downfield.
Yeah.
He's not looking for anybody like 10, 15 yards, 5 yards, 7 yards, quick dump off play. Like everything is downfield. The line was better today, guys. Listen, they bumped down Mason Murphy and they put Kingston on as the right tackle. The line looked better today. It did. So it wasn't the line's issue. Everyone was talking about Marshawn Lloyd. Yeah, he got yanked out because he dropped the ball 2 times tonight. That's why he got yanked out. But he was running the ball well. The line didn't have an issue blocking there. A lot of those sacks was Caleb holding the ball. There were a couple of plays where I seen Zachariah Branch open right there 7 yards for a quick first down. He doesn't want to dump the ball down. He doesn't want to do that. Everything is downfield. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know. He hasn't looked right, guys, for the last couple of weeks now. We have to be honest about that. What say you?
Yeah, I would. I think we talked about it if you listen to the Collins show. If you listen to the Collins show earlier this week, I brought that up. The fact that he's not taking those intermediate passes. It seems like either we're screening or we're throwing the ball 30 yards downfield. There's the middle of the field where Caleb has been absolutely laser sharp historically has just disappeared. You saw Deuce Robinson early in the game, then he disappeared. I really wish I knew what was going on with the passing game. I'm still not quite ready to start telling Lincoln Riley how to run his offense. But here's what people got to realize. People are jumping on the coaching for that. A couple of times there was a play at the goal line. I can't remember which drive it was, but Caleb kept the ball, right? What if he had handed the ball to Marshawn Lloyd? That's twice now I've seen that going back a couple of games where Marshawn walks right into the end zone, but he keeps it, he pulls it, and he gets stuffed. And I'm really trying to figure out what's in Caleb's head because something's going on with Caleb not making proper reads on the run pass, on passing over middle, like you're saying, and taking the 5 yard, taking that 8-10 yard hitch. those things are there for him, and he's not taking them. And I think that is definitely hurting the team.
I'm going to throw something out there. I want to see what you guys think about this. Here's just a question. Do you think, just throwing it out there, that Lincoln Riley has kind of like given him a little bit too much rope, right? Because a lot of times, if you're noticing, we were kind of having the same issues again today, where the clock was going down like 2, 3, going down. And I'm like, yo, just run the play. Just run the play. But Caleb's going up, changing it. Then he's looking at Lincoln. Do you sense that, even with, this is Lincoln Riley's first time having a, Heisman we're going to come back to. So there's some pressure there too. Do you think, guys, that he's giving him a little bit too much and not kind of like pulling him in a little bit with the reins and saying, hey, listen, I'm running this. You got to listen to what I'm saying. What say you guys?
It's possible. It's very possible. I don't know. I mean, I'd have to defer to the folks on the field who know who's calling what, because I don't think any of us know that. I mean, I'm okay with us all getting those new Gallaudet helmets where Lincoln Riley can just tell everybody exactly what to do and on the little screen. But you may well be right.
And just in closing too, I just think also too, guys, these are young players, these young guys. The pressure is on. Trust me, I guarantee you, they hear this show, they hear the chirping, they hear what's going on, but not just them, but the coaches too.
Believe me, they all hear the chirping.
Right. I think that Lincoln Riley feels
Ryan Karchi from the LA Times tonight was on Twitter talking about the boos in the stadium.
Right. So I think Lincoln Riley feels it. I think he does. And I'm curious to see what he's going to say this week, because you can't really give any more coach speak anymore now. So now you're going to have to really have a real answer, because this is a lot different than Norman, right? This is a lot different. You're in a mega city. The only bigger city than this is New York, right? So you're going to be dealing with a lot of different pressures, right? We understand what Oklahoma was, right? But they're a notch below to be from USC. USC's got more Heisman Trophy winners, and they got more national championships. And if you think of a blue blood program, we are up there with Notre Dame and Michigan and Alabama. Those are the names people think of. So this is different. It is. Let's be honest. So I truly, truly think he's feeling it. He's really, really feeling it. And you can see by the play calling, guys. You can see it. And I think that he may not want to change Grinch, but he's going to be forced to. Because
he's going to. It's guys. Grinch will not be our defensive coordinator next year. Period. Barring him shutting out, like some miracle and divine intervention happens and the stars come down and save the day in Washington, or we go up to Autzen and somehow we hold them to 20 points. Barring those two events happening in the same year, you could pretty much say this one's done. This one's over.
By the way, just for anybody in the chat who's wondering, not sure if you guys are aware, it is Arizona State, Washington 3 in the Arizona State 7, Washington 3 in the third quarter in Seattle tonight so far.
Wait.
Did it have to be like the bus? Wait, did the offensive line and Penix miss the bus or something? I mean,
wait a second.
Arizona State 7, Washington 3 in the third quarter at Husky Stadium.
There's got to be that.
There's got to be.
Oh, hey, one of the so you guys laugh at me when I say that every team in the country has one team they are cursed against, and for the Huskies, it's Arizona State. Washington has not won in Tempe since I was in undergrad.
Wow.
So yeah, they're cursed. All right, LV, got a question for you here. Something that we were asking the guys earlier tonight. So looking at this team, and I'm not being a negative Nancy here, but just with how this team is performing, they will not beat Washington. They will not beat Oregon. That means 8-4 is the best case right now for this team. Do they beat Cal or UCLA?
Absolutely, they beat Cal and UCLA. I'm not going to say no.
I hope so.
I'm not going to say no to Washington and Oregon.
Okay.
I can't say that.
I mean, I guess we can't say that, right? Because Arizona State's beating Washington right now.
Listen,
by the way, to everybody in the chat who's right now angrily typing, I realize Washington could still win this game 48-7.
Right.
So
right.
We're,
So
we're in this game's.
I'm only saying that to say any given Sunday, any given Saturday, right? It doesn't matter. And with Caleb Williams back there, I don't know, a spark can go off and things can change and we can go on a winning streak, right? That's how talented he is. So any given Saturday, Tony, man, you know what I mean? Anything could happen. That's
any given Saturday.
There we go.
Exactly. And by the way, like I said, wasn't being a negative Nancy. I'm just saying it. This team, the way they have performed for the past 5 straight weeks, if they perform like they have for the past 5 straight weeks, absolutely will get hammered by Washington, hammered by Oregon. Any given Saturday, anything can happen to any given team.
Right. I think also too, guys, you got to. One thing we got to give John, Henson some credit here. Look at the change that he made on offensive line. One thing I love about what he does is that if guys aren't playing well, he makes changes. He makes changes. I don't know why. You could see the stubbornness in Grinch, right? If my thing is this, if you're getting hammered in the middle, why aren't you putting Bars and Bear in that middle for bulk to kind of stop those runs? Why are you not doing that?
LV, I'm a huge Keon Bars fan. I am. I am. I want to see him out there more often. But did you see when they pulled? It was a goal line situation early in the game. They pulled out Bear, if he was gassed or whatever. They pulled him out, and the gap that Keon was supposed to be in, right? The guy walked right into the end zone.
I did see that. I did.
So I get it. I don't know, and I don't. The personnel thing. Everyone on this panel has talked about it. I've had any Trojan I've talked to, especially Gabe over at Trojan Blade, has talked about numerous videos. What's going on when it comes to personnel is truly mind-boggling. It is freaking me out a bit. There's got to be some I don't know. Are they taking a break during practice or whatever? There's no reason, and I'm not going to call him by name, but we saw some guys that people always call for that they want to see more of make a lot of mistakes tonight. Now, granted, maybe because they're finally getting some playing time, they got to work their way into it. But yeah, I think that there's no quick fix. The worry now is the fact that this is a coaching issue without a doubt, and they're just gonna have to hope that the offense can carry them.
Tim, you were there tonight, right? Live.
Yeah.
Is it that obvious, Tim, in person, just how much the coaching changes needed on defense? Is it that obvious, Tim?
Watching Grinch on the sidelines, he's hopping up and down. You can tell that guy's got pressure beyond belief on him. His body language is showing to me that he's just frustrated with the team. But here's what I'm gonna say: if these guys aren't in position, if these guys are missing reads, if these guys are wrong, that's on him. They've got all week to practice and fix this. This is, how many games are we going to keep talking about? We're having issues with, broken coverages, or we're getting out schemed. You're seeing Shane Lee on Sione Vaki. What a joke that is, To
the people in the chat, especially a couple of nitwits who are just like, fire Riley, fire. That's not happening. Stop.
They're Sooners, Tony. Those are Sooners.
Okay.
I would hope so.
It's not right. Riley's not.
We do appreciate that you guys are dumb enough to keep typing that because it helps the engagement, which is good for the channel. But just know that the only reason we're not blocking you is because we appreciate that it's making money for Mark, but you're kind of idiots. So
I just think that it's obvious that his scheme is too deep for these guys. Like, these kids are struggling just doing basic stuff. Sometimes you just got to run a base defense. Sometimes, I'm just talking about the little things. Like, when I'm watching Michigan, I'm watching all these teams. It doesn't seem complicated. Even I'm watching Utah tonight. Nothing seemed complicated. It did not. Sometimes football is not even hard. Just get off a block and make a tackle. You don't have to out-scheme. You're out-scheming yourself. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And that's what I'm saying.
Well, by the way, real quick, let me interrupt. Sorry, just thank you to Jeff Rodriguez for the super chat. Thank you, Jeff. He says Grinch, Henson, Wiley gone or become Helton. Yes, Jeff. Something's got to give. I'm not sure what exactly who all it's going to be. Certainly a change needed on defense, whatever that is.
Yeah, I don't agree on Henson though. Absolutely, do not agree on Henson.
Couple Couple others real quick. House Money Production says, we try to tell you, Boomer.
That you did. I'll give you credit for that.
And by the way, to the Oklahoma fans, I have so many good friends from Oklahoma who are, devout Sooners. So congratulations to all of them. Jen Smith says, I'm an OU alum, but enjoy your show. Lincoln just isn't a good coach. We knew that. That's why he left. It's like, yeah, you guys are certainly obsessed. I will tell you, I'll be honest, I don't watch the Oklahoma.
You know what's so funny? You know what's so funny, Tim? This is like,
we appreciate we appreciate you. We're glad to have you guys.
Tony and Tim.
By the way, I've taught classes at Oklahoma. I've been on the campus. It's a beautiful campus. It's got great people. So to my Oklahoma friends out there, Boomer Sooner.
Tony and Tim, what this feels like when someone loses the girl and they love that girl. And that guy gets the girl, and she's just the worst thing ever. She's this, she's that, she's this.
It's true. It's true.
That's what this sounds like.
It is. But you know what? We're glad to have him. We're glad to have him watch their show.
Listen. Everybody got to stop fooling themselves. Anybody, any team, maybe outside of Michigan, maybe Ohio State, even maybe include them too, would love to have Lincoln Riley in this offense. They would not question it. They would. As soon as just telling you how bad they are that he left. I
don't know, man. They were able to hold off a 2-point conversion against UCF tonight. Okay, so they're for real. Okay, they are for real.
I'm not criticizing them because they won and we didn't.
Well, I mean, it's yeah. All right, this team's a lot better than UCF, Tony. That's all I'm gonna say. Team we lost to is a hell of a lot better than UCF. That's all I'm gonna say.
Actually, hold on. Let me push back slightly. Utah's defense is much better than UCF. I'm not sure the kid who worked at Lowe's a couple weeks ago is better than John Rice Plumlee.
Fair. but you know what though? I'll bet you Vaki's better than anybody that's carried the rock for them. Without a doubt.
And we got again to our Ute fans in the chat. Congrats, Utes. You guys played great tonight. Your offense played
Seth,
great.
You need a timeout.
Yeah,
this is what I mean.
Kudos again to our Ute friends and to our Ute fans too. Kudos to Utah in general. You guys have read the ebook that I wrote. We talked a little bit about Utah really understands the pack. Utah leaned into the pack. Utah, I think, belongs in the pack. And I've actually, some of the research I've done on the history of the conference, I actually, looking back on it, think we should have added them in 64 when we added the Oregon teams. So, Utah belongs in the pack. Congratulations, guys. Kind of sad we're losing you guys as a team that we play, because these have been some, kick ourselves in the gut for it, but these have been some great games we've had against Utah.
Hey guys, quick question. Do you think that Grinch lost his job tonight? Is this it, or you think he still has a little leash, or you think this is it?
No, I think it's been going
a while ago.
Yeah, I agree with Tony. I think that there were expectations for this team, and I got it last year because there wasn't the personnel last year. But you know what? The defensive personnel we have right now on this team this year, we had all spring and all fall to get ready for these games. He's had an opportunity. He has before last year. I was like, look, he's turning around a really bad, historically bad defense. I'm not looking for this to be a defense like we saw the Utes tonight. It doesn't have to be that good, but we should be able to stop a Utah Ute offense that's among the worst in the country when it comes to total yards, explosive plays. And like I said, that last drive, LV, the game should be locked up with that offense. If we had a decent stop on there, the game should have been over, period. Yeah. And it wasn't.
It wasn't like that. Like, I mean, when you look at, for example, that crazy Miami game a couple weeks ago, with like the ridiculous plays and the miracle, there was none of that. Like, Utah just flat out ran the ball all the way down the field and kicked a field goal. Like, I mean, there was no miracle play. There was not like one blown whatever. They just flat out continued to march us down the field and beat us. And every team keeps doing that. We are unable to stop anyone.
Yeah, and that wheel route with Shelby out there. I mean, they ran that 3 plays and it completed all 3 plays. Like, I mean, that was like, I mean, dude. I mean, they're scheming that. They're seeing that you have Brandon Shelby over there, and they're running that same play. Like, you got to stop that. I mean, that's JV. That's a JV move, man. I mean, like, Come on, man. Like, that's That was really, really, really bad. That
The
was,
wheel routes, but again, it just seemed like here's one issue with our linebackers. I do have, and also on that last play, I won't call players out, but we had a safety that took one of the worst angles I've ever seen in my life. I mean, every yard counts when you get down to that field goal range. Forcing him to a 45-year-old 5-yard field goal would have been the difference possibly. That thing, I didn't see the kick because I was in the stands, but the difference between a 35-yard field goal and a 45-yard field goal is massive statistically.
Massive, yeah.
So, yeah,
you're right. Hey, LV, any thoughts here? Where do we go from here? And give us your prediction for the Cowboys.
I think that I think we beat Cal. Let's say 34-27. I think we do that. But I think we I'm going to jump out the window here. I think we win every game after this.
I like it. You're my kind of guy.
I think we win every game after this. I think we go on, we finish up strong, and I think somehow, some way, we get in the conference championship.
Yeah, LV, as always, solid, man. Appreciate you as always.
Inshallah. Fight on LV.
All right, take care, guys.
We'll see ya. Real quick, we got Carter coming here in just a sec, but before we do, Jeff says he's no sooner been SC since '93. Love my team. Fight on, Jeff, for that.
Okay.
And also, House Money Production says. House Money Production says Link put a culture of divas that can't tackle at OU. Possibly, I don't know. I don't watch OU. And I think we have an OU post game. So if those of you guys who want to watch Oklahoma games, should definitely check it out. It's a lot of fun. Hey, we're bringing Carter Monroe in. Carter, welcome to the channel.
Fight on.
Fight on. Rough night for SC.
Man, well, I was hoping Caleb slide at the 1 yard line when he ran it in. Because I just knew, man, like 130, 140, that's just enough time. If he slide at the 1 yard line, probably burn like 30 seconds more, then they don't even get that field goal.
Maybe.
But
or maybe they just get it 30 seconds earlier with our Swiss cheese defense.
Maybe so. But yeah, Tony, I heard you earlier. I guess I'm just gonna be the idiot then. I guess I'm an idiot. I'm gonna take that on the chin because
why?
Man, do not cut me off. I'm just speaking for Trojan Nation. Don't cut me off short, Tony, like you always do. You always hang me up fast. But I just gotta tell the truth. I was watching a press conference with Lincoln Riley, and I'm thinking like, man, we need a man at head coach. We need a man. We need somebody with the mentality of Ed Orgeron or somebody like that. Like Lincoln Riley, what people don't realize is part of being a head coach is just ain't X's and O's. Like Lincoln Riley, he great at X's and O's and all that other things. He a great offensive coordinator, but to be a head coach, you got to be a leader of men. And becoming a man, just growing up in anything in life, if you playing football, basketball, you working at McDonald's, it's about accountability. And it's
what do you say in the press conference? Oh, I haven't seen it yet because we've been here on the air.
They've been pretty bad, Tony.
The same thing he said the previous 6 weeks. Basically, we so close, we almost there. It's just excuses. There's no accountability. There's no accountability, and he seems soft to me. In our team play like that. Like if your team is soft, that's a reflection of your head coach. I never played college ball, but I didn't play high school ball, and I know the personality of the team is start with the head coach. And I played enough sports to know that coaching ain't just about X's and O's. X's and O's could get you a Heisman winning quarterback, but you're not going to win national championship if you ain't got the other factors, the other intangibles. He don't have the other.
Carter, let's get a word in. We're not going to cut you off, but let us get a word in too. One of the things he said in the post conference that really upset me was he said, "Yeah, we're in that locker room right now, and we're pretty down." He's, as a matter of fact, this is the first time since we've been here that we felt like this. I'm tired when he talks about the past a lot, and he does that a lot. When they lose, I noticed that at Notre Dame and all week, he starts talking about all their successes going backwards. What I would like to hear him say is about tonight and about what we're doing next. And that's what I don't hear from him. I'm the one that passed said, whatever whatever a coach says in post game is usually coach speak. He says all on me. That doesn't mean shit unless he follows it up and actually changes stuff. I've been very critical. People say, yeah, but he said the post game. But I'll even tell you, even me tonight, I'm driving home and I hear him say that, like, yeah, well, we're not used to this feeling. We're here. He's like resting on his accolades instead of saying, yeah, we really let one get away tonight. We need to address this and this. The defense did let us down. That offense isn't good enough to march down the field. We don't hear that from him. I agree with you. It's getting a little bit, my patience get a little bit thin with it. But again, at the end of the day, words are cheap. What is he going to do to make this program better? It's not. We've hit a plateau, and we're nowhere near where we need to be if we want to compete with Penn State, Michigan, and Ohio State next year.
Well, and Tim, I'll also add, one of the things is that different coaches have different styles of how they deal with the media. Those of you guys, and I know some of you in the chat used to watch my uncle give his baseball press conferences, and I used to sit behind the cameras and be like, oh my God, what's he gonna say tonight? Because sometimes it would be pretty funny because he was really straight up with the media, whereas Coach Riley is just somebody who's very much more standoff with the media. Is that the right style? I don't know. Maybe not. But I agree with you, Tim, that what we need to start hearing and what the team needs to hear is accountability. What we don't know is, are they hearing in the actual meeting room as they go back to the McKay building? Are they hearing the accountability, or are they hearing the same kind of media stuff? Because
give me a second here, Tony. I'm with you. I don't expect them to be Tommy Lasorda. You know what I mean? Because if you guys are old enough to see Tommy Lasorda and his boxers, and just he would let it fly. I gotta address the chat. Again, I got you Sooners, or you're killing me. CE, I'm not sure if who you're a fan of. Lincoln Riley is an elite coach. You don't do what he's done and not be an elite coach. He does not have the pieces. This rebuild was bigger than it's been. Can he do it? He can. The people that are saying this is a Lincoln Riley issue, Lincoln Riley has made mistakes. Clearly, it looks like his staff isn't what it should be. Clearly. But that does not mean that Lincoln Riley is not an elite coach, because I watched what he did at Oklahoma. And I know the Oklahoma fans right now are saying, oh, he's a fraud, he's a snake, he's about. But when he was your guys' coach and he was winning all those Big 12 championships and kicking the shit out of Texas, you guys sure as hell weren't saying he was a fraud. Now all of a sudden he can't coach. You guys settle down. There's things he really has to work on. What we're seeing this year was a huge disappointment, but you guys look stupid to me. So they go, we knew this year's. You did not. You guys 3 years ago were short of just, I'm not going to say the word I was about to say. You guys were all over a huge fan for Lincoln Riley. All you guys out there are just showing you guys are idiots. Anyone that knows you knew that you had I Love Riley t-shirts, maybe some tattoos of Riley's my boy on your arm. I don't know what you got going on, but no one's believing that Lincoln Riley is not a great coach. And he will be. He was the right hire. He needs to figure out his staff.
Do you think they turn those tattoos into a sleeve? Who knows? Hey, and to the crazy people in chat, we're glad to have you though, because your clicks make Mark in the community just as much money as somebody who makes a smart comment. So we'll take it anyway.
A great win over UCF, by the way. Awesome win.
Good to squeak it out.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, at least they got one. Hey, Carter, question for you here. So you're certainly not looking good against Washington, not looking good against Oregon. Give me your take real quick here. Again, what do you think happens with Cal and what happens with UCLA?
Oh, I don't know. We could lose those too, because UCLA got a great defense. And since we've been playing good teams, our offense ain't looked that great. And then even against a fourth-string quarterback, our defense gave up 30 points. So UCLA and Cal, we looking at them as defensive teams, but our defense make every team look like a great offensive team. So I don't know. We could lose out. How I'm looking at it, but I got a question for Tim. Tim, can you be?
Yes, man. What do you want to know? I'll let you know.
Can you be an elite head coach but be missing a certain ingredient of what it takes to be a championship head coach? Because being a head coach ain't part of being head coach. Is about being a great leader, and then a great leader, he's going to put the right people in position to lead. Now, I get it. Like, I wouldn't necessarily want to fire Riley, but think about it, you guys. If we won this season, he would get all the credit. So it's just like a superstar player in the NBA. When the Lakers win, LeBron get all the credit. If they lose, people gonna bash LeBron. So we can't give Riley the credit when he goes to the playoff, when he get Heisman quarterbacks and say he's a great coach. Then when he lose, we can't give him the blame. You know,
Carter, what's
it's
his
a lot
record?
that.
When you evaluate a coach, you don't evaluate how he talks, how he leads, because you don't lead the way you want.
But
it comes down. Hold on,
answer
hey,
the question,
hold on.
I'm not
You
want
just
you-
got.
I don't
You
want
made your point. Hold on. I'm
I didn't
replying
make
to
the
you.
point.
I'm replying to you. The issue is his record, because your record is who you are as a coach. Go ahead.
Let me add something as well. Hold on.
right.
Let me add something as well. And that is that I really think that people who are sitting at home, who have not been in the practices, who are not in the meetings, honestly, and I don't mean this isn't a rip to you, Carter. I don't think you're in the practices. I don't think you're in the meetings. I don't think you're qualified to make a leadership judgment.
When we could hold on, I mean, but you could see it on the field. That's that untrained eye. Like, just because we are not at practice or just because we're not professional, don't mean we don't know sport, and you reap what you sow. So if they was reaping positive things in practice, it will show in the game. I don't have to see practice when I see the game, because the game is the result of practice. Pete Carroll teams always said the practice was harder than the games. So I don't have to see the practice to know what they're lacking. And y'all still didn't answer the question. My question is, can you be a lead
First of all, let's
coach?
be real clear, Carter. This is our show. We
What?
don't have to. We don't answer to you. You're not a prosecutor. So continue, but you will be a little more respectful.
Tone it down. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Carter.
I'm not-
What's your question?
The Tip said, go ahead and ask him a question. He didn't answer, so I can't say, hold on, let me rephrase the question. Why you guys is taking in that disrespect? Why I gotta be like disrespectful and treated like I'm a bad guy just because I don't agree? You always cut me off short.
You're calling in, so go ahead, Carter, and then we'll move on.
I'm just saying, Carter, let us reply to you. You get talking and then you don't stop. That's the only issue I'm trying to get to you. So I will answer your question. Just briefly state your question and I'll give you an answer.
All right, my question is, can you be an elite coach with missing the ingredients where it take to win a national championship? Like, can you be a great coach, but you missing what it takes to win a championship? And
Absolutely.
Do you guys agree with any of my points that I made? It isn't a great head coach. Isn't he a great leader? Isn't he going to take accountability? Isn't that going to reflect on his team? Like, I don't think I'm saying nothing wrong, but I always get bashed for saying the truth. I mean, guys, we losing. I'm not the enemy.
No, hang on, Carter. So again, I got you. Okay. So here's what I'm gonna say.
Carter, we're done talking about you. We're talking about the game.
Let me reply to that, because you make
move on.
You're making some very valid points. What I'm trying to say to you is we all agree that there are missing pieces. I think that's what this show really has been talking about. The fact that, we've seen enough. Last year, the pieces weren't there as far as the defense is concerned. The personnel may not be at the level of an Ohio State or a Georgia right now, but it is good enough to have to perform better than they have. And therefore, yes, there is a serious issue on defense that needs to be addressed. And yes, you could be an elite coach, but you do need to have the right coordinators and coaches in position. And unfortunately, I've been questioning what's going on with Grinch. As a matter of fact, I've never been Team Grinch, believe it or not. I keep saying I need to see more. I need to see in these big games. These warm-up games aren't showing us anything. I thought I'd be able to wait until like Washington and Oregon to make this choice. But again, what I've seen now through the last 3 games, I have seen enough. I have seen enough. He's been given enough. Well, there's this. Well, there's a bye week. Whether it was, they're on the road. Well, it's Notre Dame and stuff. He's had enough of those games. At this point, I think it's pretty clear that this was not a good Utah Ute offense. They gave up nearly 500 yards against them. They're averaging 330 on the season, and they made Bryson Barnes look like Vince Young. Yes, he's missing pieces.
Yes, every team we play. That's why I said I don't know about the Cal and Utah game. Like, we could win any game and we could lose any game. So I'm gonna just say, I know. So I'm gonna just say, I hope that next year that the whole coaches. I think Lincoln need to clean house on all the coaches. I think we need new coaches at every position. How I'm looking at it, and I'm gonna
Well,
get on up out of here. I know Tony hate me. I'm gonna get on up out of here.
no
No,
one
not at all.
hates you.
No,
Hey,
no,
Carter,
Carter.
be very clear. I have respect for your football
Yeah.
knowledge. You've been consistent and you've been right on a lot of what you've said. I don't hate you. I think you make a lot of great sense.
I don't know
I would
you.
just ask you this much. Let us get a word in once in a while. That's all I'm saying.
Carter, you're welcome to call in, but if you call in again, just to be clear, you will be respectful to the course of the show. And it's about the football team. It's not about you. Okay.
I know you say I can't ask questions, but I just want to ask, where was I disrespectful?
Adam, what's up?
Okay. Anyway, Carter, thank you very much. We're glad.
Adam,
we'll talk to you soon. All right, guys. We got a couple super chats real quick here. We want to hit, folks. House Money Productions. Link put a culture of divas that can't tackle at OU. And Boy Meets Taco says Riley is a coordinator masquerading as a head coach. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of opinions. It's been a tough time. Hey, we got LBC back.
Oh, hey guys,
LBC.
I've been listening the whole time, and I'll address Carter's question. He's got a great question, and
Very good question.
I think Lincoln Riley has some blind spots, and if you look at it, the games that he has lost, he hasn't been a champion level coach. And I go back to the Utah game last year at Rice Eccles, the championship game, the Cotton Bowl, and obviously the game today and the game at South Bend. He almost lost the game at Colorado. But there's time management issues. There's coaching issues. You could say that we don't have all the players. I think our players are better this year. But there's situational mastery where he has failed. And I give credit to the coaching staff for getting this team ready today for a fist fight. But come on. There's no Cam Rising. You're at home. And there's the little details that have haunted Lincoln Riley. And so we can make excuses, but if you come in here and you talk about winning championships, that's great talk, but then there's execution, and he has failed to execute, and you can make any excuse you want, but he's not getting it done. So that's all there is to it. And that's how I feel, is that I've seen enough in games where it's the little details. We're not talking about shoulda, coulda, wouldas. You have to take ownership. You win games. And he didn't do that. He did not do that tonight. And the turnovers were 1-to-1. Time of possession, Utah had that in their favor. But at the end of the game,
very much so.
He didn't close it out. He left them too much time. And you can second guess going for 2 points on two different occasions. I don't really care about that. But if you don't execute that, you have to know that you trust your defense to make that stop where they're not going to get a field goal chance. And that's on you. You're the head coach. You should know that. That's a liability. Your defense is a liability. It has been. And that's Alex Grinch. So you put it in Alex Grinch's hands to execute that and shut it down and not give up a long run play to put him in position to kick the field goal. It's reality. You can go back every game that we've lost, and you can go point to certain situations. And so there's blind spots for Lincoln Riley. He's a very good coach, but is he a championship coach? He hasn't proven he's a championship coach, and that's all there is to it. So, hey, you move on. That's my opinion. But Carter is right.
No, I mean, he had some very good points. I mean, all of our callers tonight have had really good points. LBC Robbie had great points. We were talking with him earlier. I mean, it's a bad night for the defense. Offense was pretty mediocre, and Utah stuck him to the win. And again, I look at it now and I say 8-4 is probably the best case scenario for this team. But I look at this team again. I say 8-4 is the best case scenario. They might only win 6 games. They might not win another game if they continue to play as we have seen in the past few weeks and do not make improvements. they're not going to win. Cal's not bad. Hey, we got a couple super chats real quick here while Rick's left us. Adam Lamparello says, so you guys know, I think Riley's a great offensive coordinator, but not a great head coach. I think he'll be gone in 3 to 5 years, but since you disagree, tell me what you would do to improve this team.
There's one staring us right in the face.
Yeah.
Get
now.
him, pull in, you guys hope that Baylor loses, bring in an Aranda at defensive coordinator.
Leonard.
Go get Jim Leonard. Go steal the guy over at, I don't even know this guy's name, and I'd take him, the guy over at UCLA. I mean, there's plenty of guys that are playing solid defense, and if you're willing to pay $110 million for a head coach, you're going to need to open the pocketbook up, say, what's your number? We'll give it to you. Because then NIL, you don't need NIL. You know what they do at Georgia? Those guys in Alabama, they know they're going to the NFL because they have a good coordinator, a good system that's going to showcase them, and they got good coaches. That's the key to winning football now. The number one thing is not NIL, because NIL money is chump change compared to being a top 10 draft pick in the NFL. And if you can show someone with your scheme, because Riley's offense is that scheme, and if you can show them with your coaching that you have position coaches that will get them ready for the next level. NIL, sure, some guys, but those guys you don't want on your team. The guys are more wrapped up in NIL money. You want the guys that are hungry to get to the league and that can get to the league, and they're going to come to your school because you have a coordinator and coaches that'll get them there.
All right. Hey, real quick, we got Adam who just asked the question, called in to join us. So welcome, Adam. We're glad to have you.
Hey, how you guys doing?
What's up, Adam? How you doing, man?
We've been better, but we're hanging in there. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, a really disappointing loss. So basically what I'm thinking is I've commented before that based on Riley's performance at OU and here, I think he does not – his defenses are consistently poor, whether it's giving up 60 to LSU or letting UGA come back or losing to Tulane or giving up 40 to Colorado. I think he's an awesome offensive coordinator, but I don't think he's a great head coach. But you guys seem to disagree with me. So like my question said, so what do we do differently? Is it just a matter of firing Grinch, or is there more fundamental changes we have to make to get this team to the national championship level?
So this year, I think there's some issues. I think that – okay, so I'll try to be as brief as possible I can with this. Last year, he inherited an amazing offensive line that was the strength of a team that won Caleb a Heisman Trophy along with Addison, okay? That offensive line, that's why he drug him around everywhere he went. I talked about it on Thursday. That's why he's taking him everywhere, because you know what? Those guys were huge. I think it was understating how important Nealon and Voorhees were to this offensive line. We're seeing the breakdowns in the run game and the passing game. There are holes on this offense. We thought we could pull in 3 or 4 guys from the transfer portal. It didn't work out. Our offense does not look like last year. Our defense has gotten slightly better, but still not nearly good enough. And that's clear. We saw it again tonight when you give a team up that's making 330 yards a game, and they go for almost 500 and march the ball right down the field. I just agree with everyone. You score that touchdown because your defense should be able to stop them, period. You fall down there at the 1 yard line and you don't get in, everyone will be freaking out about that as well. You don't, not against this defense. You don't take a knee there. It would be great in a perfect world to try to run the clock down and then fall down, but you don't do that. You take the touchdown. They were down by more than 3 points. You had to get into the end zone. The problem is, and they knew it, this offense has no right to be moving the ball down. They did. And that's truly an indictment on the defense. Period. End of story.
All right.
So what the answer is, directly to your question is, Adam, they need a new coordinator. They need a new defensive coordinator. I think Riley's won too many damn close games and good games in order to say he's a bad head coach. The mistakes he's making aren't head coaching mistakes. All coaches make issues. He's made some mistakes this year as far as clock management. I think he's made some mistakes in some of his personnel. But again, I'm not watching practice, so I don't know what's going on. I have question marks in my head. I think there have been absolutely some mistakes. It's clunky. They seem, one big thing I have compared to last year, this group seems very, very undisciplined. Right. I mean, look at that last drive. That 15 yards could have been the difference in this game. And Bear not pulling up on that, it was huge. He had a great game up to that point, and then just, and then the shoving the guy down, that everyone freaked out in the Coliseum. That was absolutely an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. How many times are we going to see this year an offensive pass interference call?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I've-
Hudson, that
I've
was
never seen so
ridiculous.
many offensive pass
It's a
interference
free,
calls.
yeah, it's a free play. Go up and high point the ball, make it. But that push off, I'm seeing so many of those this year. Very undisciplined. That's on the head coach. So there are issues with head. I'm not saying he's perfect, but I'm telling you, this guy is a championship coach, and you guys are all gonna be singing a different tune in a couple of years.
Well,
We'll
Tim,
see, right? We'll see.
I really hope so. So we'll see. The last thing I'll say is, do you think there's any other coaches like the O-line coach we may need to replace? And do you think with 2 losses that Caleb is going to kind of check out and not play with the same passion, going forward?
I'll give you my personal opinion. I think he will continue to play with passion. As far as offensive line coach, one thing here I will point out about the offensive line coach, you notice how he keeps trying to change stuff up.
Right.
He's trying to find something that works. I at least give him credit for that, because that's something I don't think we see enough of on defense. So with the offensive line, you see that offensive line shaking it up, and guys who don't play well don't play the next week. So they're trying to make something work. Yeah, I guess the question is, and again, I'm not in the practice, and I will defer to the folks who watch hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of practice game film. But are we trying to make a silk purse out of a sow's ear? And that I don't have an answer to.
Well, listen, guys, this is a great show. Thanks for taking my questions. I'm still hurting.
Thanks for calling in. And Adam, thanks for the super chat. It really helps marking the channel. Thank you for that.
You got it. I just want to win a national championship, and I'm
Me
still
too.
hurting from that loss to Texas. So we'll be hopeful for the future. See you guys. Have a great night.
I flew 10 hours from Europe for that game.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was horrible.
Bye
Thanks,
on,
guys.
Adam.
Take care.
Bye, Adam. Thanks, man.
Oh, what a night. What a night.
And Tony, one more thing. Sorry. Leanne makes a good point. The guys were balling out. The players like Caleb stepping up and making that interception and housing it. This is not an indictment on individual guys on the defense. I think everyone tonight on defense played well individually at spots. It's just too inconsistent. And the fact that this defense, Leon, I'm not trying to be harsh on these players. I love these Trojans. I love every one of these guys that sweat out there on practice field and roll in the games and get beat up, and they're gonna be no one's more down than them. But Leanne, that performance we saw and the way that they let that Utah team just walk down the field, there's something broken and it needs to be fixed.
Yeah, and sorry to the super chat, Blue Diamond Gem, I think it was, who just pointed out the recruiting. He doesn't think is looking real good. I guess we have to wait and see a little bit because it's still fairly early. We'll see what happens with recruiting. I'll tell you right now, I'm more worried. I think we need to do another hit with the transfer portal. I think we need to really attract some very specific. We need some serious offensive linemen. We need some serious folks on the defense.
Well, the good news on the offensive line, Tony, is our freshman class last year, right? So when you look at our offensive line that came in as freshmen this year, those guys, Paige, Talele, Banuelos, Noah, and Raymond, those guys are sick. They're true freshmen, though, and it's kind of hard. You saw Alani Noah come in and play a little bit, but he's not ready yet. And the other guys we're talking about, they're not ready. I'm not worried. You're right. We need depth. We need depth at O-line. We have some issues recruiting. But here's be careful, because the recruiting don't go off the recruiting rankings. Some of the dudes we have in that class are completely underrated. They're balling up. I'm going to high school games here in Southern California, and those guys are playing. I'm very happy with who we have. We need to start winning some offensive line battles. So
we might have a few guys that are overrated too. So the recruiting rankings can go both ways. Oh, what a night! What a night! Hey, we'll give a last chance here, by the way, guys, to folks that want to call in. We'll give you kind of one more chance here to give a buzz in. I'll put the link in the chat. We're over our target time, but to anybody that still wants to call in, still wants to ask questions or tell us real quick what your thoughts on the game were, we'll give you one more shot here. I put the link in the chat. We got another super chat here. Maurice 181, friend of the show, says it's not only fire Grinch, but also recruiting, particularly for a championship level defense. I agree with you, Maurice. We need to recruit a little better defense. Tim and Rick, your thoughts?
We need, I don't know. I think we have some great talent. We just got to put them in the right position. I was hanging on the fact that they're, last year and even this year saying, well, there's a lot of missed tackles. The tackling is cleaning up a little bit. Now it just seems like there's just bad angles. Guys aren't even getting missed tackles because they're just not in position, it seems like, down the stretch of the game. It's just so frustrating to see some of these performances getting wasted like they are, because some of these guys are actually balling out and having great games. I think Christian Roland-Wallace had another great game tonight, but that's going to be overshadowed with the way the whole defense played. I think Bear Alexander, till that very end there, where he had this unfortunate call against him, I think he's playing out of his mind again as well. Across the board, there's guys that are making huge plays for us, but Dejon Benton played well. I'm sorry, not Dejon Benton. Sorry. Yeah, I think it was Dejon. Did he get that sack? I didn't see the number, but it looked like Dejon out there. I can't remember that tackle for a loss. Some of these guys are playing well, but it's not working. No one here can say that this is working. And as far as recruiting, it's not what it should be. And I think we lost a bunch of. I watched St. John Bosco play, and there are about 5 or 6 guys that can play anywhere in the country. And one of them, we have Celso Williams coming here. He's a stud. But there's a lot of guys, linebacker positions where we need, William Uasa and guys that we could have used right here in our backyard, and they're not coming to here. So, yeah, something's got to be figured out quick.
All right, real quick. Zachariah Sitchin says he fears Caleb's dad is calling the shots, not Caleb. And thank you for your contribution. We appreciate it. Glad to have you here watching the show. And, hey, we got one more caller. We got Dre Day with us. Dre Day, welcome to the show.
Hey, guys. How you guys doing tonight?
What's up, Dre? Thanks for calling in.
There.
Hey, man. And hey, thanks for having me on. Hey, I've been listening to everything you have been saying, and agreed, man. Very disappointing, especially to see, the defense to turn it around after the third quarter, especially towards the end, and for the team to come back. It was such a momentum shifter, especially in the fourth quarter when we had to stop them. We forced them to 3, came back and scored. But I agreed with that guy you guys had on where he said that Caleb and them scored way too fast. They scored way too fast where they should have ate up the clock. And also,
real quick, you say that until you watch the teams who try some move like that and then don't get in the end zone.
And also,
I was going to say that's the negative to that.
Because by the way, guys, that happens. I mean, to folks on TV like playing Tecmo Bowl in their minds, they're like, "Oh, you just take a knee and you." That sort of works, but also it sort of doesn't sometimes.
And Dre Day, 2 things. Hold on, 2 things, Dre. You get a offensive pass interference in the end zone on like a crossing route where a guy does a pick. If you get a holding call, now all of a sudden it's 1st and 11, and then you're trying to score. So that's why I'm trying to say, especially against this defense, you just punch it in, because the thing here is that their offense is not designed to move the ball 60 yards in less than 2 minutes. This is not Michael Penix. This is not Knicks. This is not that kind of offense. So that's why you scored a touchdown when you can, because penalties can be drive killers. You know that.
Yeah.
Although in fairness,
on that.
Penix only has 3 points against ASU right now.
Is that still the score?
Yeah, they're struggling,
7-3
man.
still.
I don't.
We gotta wrap this up. I don't watch the other game.
All right, hey, we need to see the other game. Hey, we got 2 other quick callers here. Dre Day, hey, give us your take. We got tough games against Washington, Oregon. We got games against UCLA and Cal. Give us your prediction. How does USC end the season?
Okay, so I say we win a close game next week, but I can see us winning by 14-21 if everything, because the team, they're going to show up either one way or the other. They're either going to be pissed off and just want to beat everyone, or they're going to fall a few times. And I think they can beat Washington at home. Like, fans can say, "Oh, Washington's too good." No, man. They're proving right now. They just came off of that big win last weekend, and they're struggling at home against Arizona State, who's 1-5.
Welcome to Pac-12 After Dark.
Hey, that's true, man. That meaning is so true. It's so crazy.
Oh, somebody just hit field goal.
I got us winning.
Oh, guys, Washington field goal. Now it's only Arizona State 7, Washington 6.
See, that's ridiculous. So I got us winning Washington. I think we're going to lose a close game to Oregon. And I think we can beat UCLA at home.
I like it.
And then Dre Day, listen, call in tomorrow. Okay, we got a bunch of people. We want to watch this game, so call in tomorrow. We're having a call-in show tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Yeah,
covering all the same stuff. So if you want to come on, like the old telephone line stuff, you're more than welcome tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Hey, man. I hope you guys have a great night, man. Fight on, brothers.
Fight on, Dre. Yeah, Tony, we got to get to that game.
I know. We got to get to that game. We got Mike and Victor will be our last two here. Mike and Victor, welcome. Let's put you both on real quick because we'll take 2 minutes here and finish up. Mike and Victor, welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing?
We've been better. How you doing?
Man, it's tough. I'll just be really quick with this. I'm a Chelsea fan as well. I'm actually in New York right now. It's like 1:30. I'm still wrecked about this loss. But
I hear you.
I'm a Chelsea fan, and when we were under Graham Potter, it was every time we come back, we hear like the post game conference, the presser, and he's just like, "Yeah, the lads gave it their all. The lads gave it their all," and you're like, come on, where is it going to be? Like, where's the enthusiasm? Where's the drive? And I'm kind of feeling that with Lincoln Riley. I'm like, I stay up, pretty late to watch the post-game pressers, and I'm just like, where is, like, what's different? Is it just coach speak, or are you going to, like, really get some fire in? Like, you see Nick Saban, he's heated. Ed Orgeron, he's heated. Even the ones that have been like mediocre, so far. And I went to SC from 18 to 22, so I've never seen a good USC like team. I had Clay Helton all my 4 years. It was tough.
Oh, it's rough.
Yeah,
it could be worse. Hey, it could be worse. We had some lean years when I was there. There's this guy called
Paul Hackett.
Paul Hackett. So believe me, your years were not as bleak as what we had to deal with. So that's all I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, rough. But I'll just close out with this, man. I was watching the Bama game today. I only came out the second half, and me, everyone wants Bama to lose, and I was rooting for Tennessee, but I just saw defense, man. I saw defense. I'm wondering, are our guys undersized? Are we? Is there something up? Because I see those SEC boys, and they look big. They're eating something different down there, and I don't know. Food for thought, maybe we need to get something right with strength and conditioning, even nutrition. I don't know, but our defense just looks too cute. And man, I'm gonna hop on that Alex Grinch train because he really just he wrecked me last season. Like last season, I mean, I shouldn't have had too many expectations last season, but damn, he just shot me out of the water. It was bad. But anyways, fight on. See y'all next week.
Hey, thanks for calling, Victor. Fight on.
Tony, one thing we haven't talked about were those 2-point conversions. The fact is that the way they were both run as well. I mean, we were running the ball pretty good. It's kind of hard to handle the fact that this team, which we knew would have issues on defense, Tony, but offensively we felt strong about it. And yet now we're looking at, we can't even get a 2-point. We're 0 for 2 on 2-point conversions, and really neither one of them was close.
No,
do you know what I mean?
One of them was close at all. You're totally right.
Just they got blown up, and it just looked terrible. Yeah. Anyway, that's just something I wanted to talk about, but I kind of forgot about to the very end here.
Yeah, and I mean, and I'll have to rewatch it. I mean, because you have to rewatch it to know, okay, were they looking for the guys and the guys were covered and that whatever. Yeah, and so I mean, but I agree with you, Tim. They did not look like good 2-point plays, and so it was pretty ugly. But this Washington's a wild one here. So LBC and Tim, rough night. Trojans go down. Season is looking rough. Should we delve into some closing thoughts here?
Let's do it. Sorry, I'm dark right now. I'm low on my light.
We're all dark right now, LBC. It's fine.
Okay.
It's a theme right now. We're in a dark theme.
Yeah,
it's the theme of the night.
Yeah. I'll start with some closing thoughts if that's okay. I just think that, hey, it comes down to execution, and that becomes more apparent when you play better competition, and you have to be on point. When you're outscoring teams like a Nevada, a Stanford, a San Jose State, the little details don't mean as much because the competition level is not there. You can make mistakes. But in the critical games, and I don't need to list them,
This was obviously one. We made a lot of mistakes against Notre Dame. You can't do that. But in a close game such as this, we just brought up the 2-point plays and how they didn't work. I mean, look at Utah. They went for it on 4th down. They could have kicked a field goal. They didn't. And the reason probably why they didn't kick a field goal, because they thought, you know what, their defense can't stop us. And we did. But, credit Whittingham and Scally and that staff. They know how to beat USC, and they did. And they believe, and that team believed. It's not just a game; it's a mindset, and we don't have that. We don't have that mindset. We think we're good enough, but we don't execute. And we're gonna learn. We're gonna learn from this.
It's all good.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, real quick, because before we hear from Tim, guys, this is totally my bad. There's a couple of super chats. The chat is exploding, and so I've missed a few of them. So, Tim, sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you. Real quick, Bizarro dudes, he thinks Coach Riley's a fraud. He thinks we're embarrassed. I don't think Riley's a fraud. I don't think we're a national embarrassment, but I think our defense is really bad. So I'll definitely give you that. Zachariah says Caleb's dad gives off LeVar Ball vibes. I'll tell you guys, a lot of this weird stuff on the Williams family is like a GQ article from like a year ago, and it's stuff taken out of context. I think some of us should spend less time worrying about random stuff on Twitter, but we appreciate it. We're glad to have you. Thank you for watching. Zach T, friend of the show, devout Utah fan, is anxiously waiting for our power rankings on Wednesday on the Pack Show. The Pilgrim and I stand correct. Hey, again, like, and Zach, we talked about this earlier tonight. Kudos to the Utes. They came ready to play. Kudos to Bryson Barnes, who looked like Vince Young tonight. So, it will be a fun flight back to Salt Lake City. And thank you for watching, and thank you for helping contribute to the show. Sorry about that. Go ahead, Tim.
No worries. And also, really quickly, since we're doing the housekeeping, guys, make sure that you guys just take one more second and hit the like and subscribe button, please. And make sure you hit the bell notification, because tomorrow I am going to be going live for our call-in show at 10 a.m. So if you want to know, I mean, it's tentatively 10 a.m. Might be a little bit later, but we're going to go over this whole thing. It's going to be another, I'm sure it's going to be another family therapy session with the Trojan Family Therapy. Feel free to call in for that. We'd love to hear from you. I'm sure we'll get a ton of Sooners there too. So maybe some Trojans come and balance it out. If you'd have told me we're going to score 32 points, Tony, I was going to tell you we were going to win. I would have said we win that game, because I absolutely have all the respect in the world for Scally, just what he's done, just in this game, but just, overall, the guy is a top. He has his guys ready to go. And this, as Whittingham said, is the best defense that he's ever had. USC put up more points against them, I believe, than anybody else this year. And it's going to be interesting to see just how many points Oregon will be able to score against them. This is a legitimately good defense. However, I can't say the same thing about the offensive side of the ball for them. And Andy Ludwig bringing in Simone Vaki and what they're able to do is a testament to them. But USC should have played better in this game. And now we know. We said earlier in the year, we won't know how good this team is. These early games don't tell us anything about this team. I thought we would have to wait until we faced. Honestly, I thought we'd have a test against the Irish, but I really thought we wouldn't see who this team was until we played Washington, Oregon. I think it's pretty clear now from what we've seen at ASU and other games that this team is, I guess, what everyone on defense is saying, what it is what it is. And there does need to be some change. I don't see any way to salvage this. I think that Grinch did get the players to make this thing work. We have enough talent. This shouldn't be happening. And that leaves a minute and change left, whatever it was, should have been enough to win this game. So this game, absolutely, the defense cost USC this game. And this is step number one, the defense cost them a game. And I think that he's gone at the end of the year. So sorry to be so negative, but it's there now. I had question marks, waiting for him to show me something. He's shown me that he's not ready. So guys, tomorrow, call and show at 10. You guys fight on. Listen, we're still the Trojans. Don't let these trolls get you down. They're scared. They're squeaking out wins against UCF. So I'll be more than happy to hear from all you Sooners tomorrow. Thank you, Tony.
All right. Thank you, guys. Well, guys, a rough night. Rough night. It looks like it's going to turn into a fairly mediocre season for USC, which is disappointing for people. Again, when we were at 4-8, if you said, okay, we're gonna, win 18 games over the next 2 years, we'd have said, okay, that's great. But this is a team that came in with a lot of expectations, and it's now clear those expectations are not going to be met. I look at this team. I hope this team can finish 8-4. If they don't get better, they're not going to win any more games. I said this a few weeks ago, and everybody thought I was crazy. But if they do not play better, they will not win more games. And I hope they play better. They showed us tonight they have the talent to play better. They have the talent to win these games. The question is going to be, what do we do and what do we do with it? So we're glad we have you guys along with us for this ride. You guys in the chat, all the wonderful folks who called in, we're really glad to have you. We appreciate it. Those of you guys watching at home, we appreciate having you guys. There's a lot of places you could be. There's a lot of things you could throw at the wall, but we're pretty glad you're here with us tonight. So on behalf of the entire Voice of College Football community, thank you for being with us. And USC fans, this is a rough night, but let me give a shout out to the Utah Utes. You guys played a great game. You won it. You deserve it. And you deserve everything that you've done in the Pac-12 over the past decade. So Utah and USC, this was a great game. I look forward to hopefully having the Big 12 champion Utes come back to the Coliseum, and we'll get you next time. Everybody, thanks for joining us. Fight on, be safe, and have a great weekend.